So we are on our way to Maracas. That's a beach and a small community in the northern part of Trinidad, an island in the Caribbean. We're leaving Coco Road and getting onto Saddle Road. And this will start our journey towards Maracas, which is a mountainous area. The area we're in now is called Maraval, and there are only two possible or three possible ways to get to Maracas. One way is the way I'm using now, Saddle Road. There's another way through Santa Cruz and another way through Arima to Blanchisseuse. I don't know how many people take the other routes. Possibly those coming from the east will go through San Juan, then Santa Cruz, and up to the North Coast Road. Those from the west and environs near Maraval will most likely come via this route. Now we start our ascent here, and from here on it will be just uphill and onto mountains, and then down and up, down and up, down and up. Now this road and the roads going up to the north coast into Maracas were actually built by the US military during World War II. So the early 1940s, the US had a base here, military base, and they built this road to get to Maracas. I have read some things where it was partially an agreement between the British government and the US at the time to build the road, and I have read where they built it in order to get access to other coastline areas. The real reason I don't know. If you know the specific reason and a source for it, please comment on my YouTube channel within this video. Now one thing that was very apparent going up this road that I haven't seen before is a lot of construction. This road, imagine, has held up all this time. The thing that plagues it the most are landslides. But other than that, the road has held up very well since it was built in the 1940s. And imagine, we put down roads here and within weeks it's all broken up. Now this is the junction where that truck is turning right, will go to Santa Cruz, and I'm turning left, and this will take you to the North Coast Road and then on to Maracas. Now this drive in itself is really nice. I mean, besides all the green, it has a lot of small stop areas that you can look out and see the coast. Small islands jut out around the coastline to the north. Despite being an island, there are a lot of mountainous, rugged, rocky areas, so the actual beaches are not many. Then again, there hasn't been a lot done either by past or present governments to create bays and beaches. As I've said in other videos, a lot of them have actually been blocked off or privatized. So Maracas debatably is really the best beach we have in Trinidad. I mean, I've been to the others. They are smaller. Um, the water tends to be brown, and not because it's naturally brown. It's a lot of areas have been built up with industries and contamination and whatnot. And like for instance, I could think of the Vecini beach. That was a really nice beach, but now it's just not that good anymore. So much pollutants, construction, just does not have that fervor as it used to have. If you think I'm wrong, feel free to comment in my YouTube channel. Now, I should say that in my YouTube channel, I moderate everything. You know, this is a family-friendly channel. A lot of um, underage children come and watch my videos, as far as I understand. So, you know, I want to keep it clean, and some of the comments are not suitable. I don't get a lot of them, but there are one or two trolls. So if you're going to leave a comment, make sure you leave it constructively. I'm not here to argue or debate with you. Just give your comments, give your source, and if it's clean, I'll approve it. If not, you just won't see it. Now you're probably wondering, well, if this is about the beach, why am I showing all this road? Well, this is a road trip, so you have to get there via the road, unless you're making an awesome hike, which we aren't. And like I said, the road trip to Maracas is in itself part of the joy. You can't see right to left fully, but there's a lot to take in: the valley, the coastline, and so forth. The fresh air. Now, it's not advisable to come up here when it's raining, or I should say raining heavily, because when it does, a tree might fall, landslides happen, and there aren't many options to get out of Maracas. From here, it would only be just this way that we're coming, and the other way through Blanchisseuse into Arima. So once you're stuck, you're really stuck. And it would take a long time for crews to get up here to excavate and do whatever repairs they need to do in order to get traffic moving. So you really want to time it for good weather. Weather forecasting in Trinidad and Tobago is like rolling dice. Sometimes they will say it's rain and then it'll be sunny. Sometimes it'll be sunny and then it'll be rain. And also changes according to what part of the island you are in. So in this case, if you're looking up a weather report, make sure you're looking at for the North Coast Road in Maracas to see what the day will be like. Because I mean, it can start sunny like it is now, and as the day progresses, it could end in a thunderstorm. See that road on the left? That takes you back to a place called Paramin. It's a community in the mountains. That's a road trip I have to show you pretty soon. Right now they're doing works up there, so I can't, it doesn't make sense for me to go there because there'll just be a lot of construction and whatnot. As always, if you like the work that I do, feel free to become a patron on JB's Man Cave. You can go to jbsmancave.com or jboard.com. The links are on my YouTube channel and within the description of this video. Easy links to become a patron. There's no pressure. Just those of you who would like to support the work that I do, I really appreciate it. By the way, I should mention this is 7 o'clock in the morning, and the reason that we are leaving this early is because the beaches tend to be crowded, and one thing I don't like is a crowded beach. And something you may not know is that I don't only do road trips, but I talk about a lot of other stuff. It could be as much as fixing your truck to coding to social issues. It's not just about road trips. So when you go to JB's Man Cave, you'll see a lot of other content. All of these things that I produce matches my own life and the things that I come in contact with, issues that I feel are important to me and that may be important to others as well. Now when you're going around these corners, you can saw that motorbike pass there. Be very careful. Sometimes you need to beep your horn. There isn't a line mark on the road, and some vehicles, some drivers pass really close to you. This is not a drive for somebody that's now learning or new to driving. You definitely have to be an experienced driver if you're coming up here. I would not want to be a passenger in a vehicle where the person's new to driving or just got their license or something like this. This could be horrific for them. A lot of blind corners, a lot of navigating where you're going, as where the position of where you are on the road versus the vehicles that are coming ahead. Also, if you're driving a manual transmission like I am, knowing how to use the gears, to slow you down and so forth. Now there's some I have read some articles and some people have told me there's a strong magnetic presence along this strip of road where rare earth metals are probably buried deep within the earth and cause a magnetic pull. And there's somewhere around this road where you can actually put your vehicle in neutral even if it's going uphill, and the pull will be so great that it will keep your vehicle going. If you know more about that, feel free to comment in the comments area of my YouTube channel within this video. Please make sure that you're replying within this video, because sometimes people will comment about one thing but put it under a different video, so sometimes people are wondering, well, what are you talking about? And as with most of my other long road trips, I try to put a video key within the description, and that key allows you to jump to various important or highlighted parts of the video. If for some reason you feel like, oh, this road trip is going on too long, you're a little hyper, you're a little agitated, or you have time constraints, you can use the key to jump straight to the beach if that's what you're interested in. mind you, like my other videos, when I get to the Maracas Beach, I am going to show it to you in a way that you have not seen before. Now, years ago, when people went to Maracas Beach, they would show the waters, the people bathing in the waters, and so forth. That is, we're in the year 2022, showing people and showing them, semi naked is just not politically correct anymore, and in some cases, it's not even lawful. So I'm not going to be focusing on that. If you were looking for that, then you would need to look for another video. I will be showing you the beaches, the water, of course, but I will be doing it in a delicate way to be respectful of people and their privacy, as well as keeping it all good. Now here's one of the lookouts. We're not going to stop here now because the sun will be shining into the lens, but that's a lookout there where you can see the whole bay. You'll actually be able to see Maracas Bay from there. On the way back, um, in another video, because on this day we actually drove along the whole North Coast Road going past Blanchisseuse, but I can't show you all of that in this video. So in this video is just going to be focusing on Maracas, but on the way back I will show you what it looks like from there. So you get all these different little lookout spots that you could stop and look, take pictures if you like, and so forth. The only issue I have is that a lot of this area tends to get clouds, low-lying clouds as well, or sometimes the rain will come, and that could really spoil your shot. So like anything else in videography, photography, or whatever have you, the timing is of importance. The having the sun in the right location, the weather just right, not a set of people blocking you. It's really hard to time. And of course you can see we are descending. More or less the rest of the road to the bay, Maracas Bay, will be a descent. There will still be some uphills, but more or less going down. One thing I wish they would do too is have better reinforcement of the rails on the cliff side. That's the side on the left. There are a lot of open areas along this road that can be very dangerous. Again, if you're driving up here, be very careful. Now as you see, there aren't a lot of structures, but there are some. People do build to the left and the right, mostly the right, wherever they get an opportunity. But largely this area is green, all green, and I hope it remains that way. As we get closer to Maracas, you will start to see a little more development. But honestly, since I was a child coming up here, everything relatively looks the same. If you haven't been here in years, you may say, oh, okay, well, most of this is the same, and when we get to the actual Maracas beach area, you will see as we turn this corner that about the only thing that is different maybe the car park, various other things that were structures that were built up, but nothing that would jump out at you. There are always talks about doing this or that, but it never comes to fruition. So this is more or less the end of this long road trip, and we will be greeted by seeing Maracas Bay when we bend that corner that's coming up to it, not the last one that I was talking about. And it's early morning, so like I said, the sun is shining into us, the lens, and it's good because there aren't a lot of people around. And that is Maracas Bay ahead. Now a lot of people tend to go right, but a lot of people don't know that there's this area on the left near the fishing village. Now right here you used to be able to park. I could just turn right there and park, but notice they put up no parking signs. And why is that? Most likely because they want to force people to pay for parking. Yes, and Maracas, you now have to pay to park. It's something that's been around for a few years, but still new to a lot of you if you haven't been to Maracas in a while. There are pros and cons to that. One is, again, everywhere you go in Trinidad, it almost seems like you have to pay for everything. You know, right there's a park. Why can't I park? Why is there a sign there? Of course, you know, paying for parking, at least you would like to believe that your vehicle's a little more protected. You could park straight ahead across there by those trees. There are parking places there. The park here as of today is $10 an hour or 40 for the day, so it's not too bad, and that's TT dollars. So if you're parking for the day, $40 will not be much money in US. Something like six US, somewhere around there. Now you notice I enabled sound. That way you can hear the air, the sea breeze, the ocean, and we're catching some crabs here. When I say catching, I'm just talking about recording. I don't actually believe in catching crabs or consuming them or anything. I like to leave nature alone. And this is Maracas Beach. Not a lot of people come on this side. They tend to go towards my right. This is the river that enters the ocean. Don't worry, I am going to explore this whole area in a way that you have never seen before, because most people will come here and, you know, make a few video shots of them swimming or them in the water or the water itself, or just stay still and watch, but they will not take the time to go through it in a thorough way as though you were there. So if this particular jetty or abandoned jetty or mashed up jetty or whatever you want to call it was of interest to you, then you would have wanted to come here and see this. So I'm going to cover all of it. And if you have seen my other videos, you would know that I like to be pretty thorough with walking around and covering places that most people won't. So that's a bridge that you cross to get the parking is on the right, and that bridge will take you to the beach. That's the beach itself. That's the whole Maracas Bay there. So I've given you like a 360. That blue and white building, I believe, used to be like some sort of resort hotel or whatever, but there's nothing going on there. Beaches were restricted in Trinidad for a very long time, and it only opened up a couple of weeks ago. The Maracas water is what could be considered rough. What you're looking at is actually very calm for this beach. It's very calm water. But it's the kind of ocean that I want to warn you, if you are not a good swimmer or you don't know how to swim, I would not recommend it. You would need to stay by the shoreline. Do not go out into the waters. I have witnessed for myself, my own eyes, maybe 5 times that I have been to this beach, and I don't come to this beach often, about 5 times where I have seen people pulled out of the water who have drowned and died or almost died because they simply, want to go deep into the water and swim, and they can't handle it. No matter how strong you are, no matter how good of a swimmer you are, there are currents in the Maracas beach waters that are really strong. And as humans, we cannot fight against the immense strength of Mother Nature. So be careful. So because it's early, we are going to explore, and I don't have to worry about people getting in front of my lens. This is a lifeguard lookout post. I was going to go up there and look at it from that point of view, but then I saw the sign you can't be there unless you're authorized, so skip that. And I must apologize for the shakes at times. Sometimes I don't know, I have to get a better position for, I need to experiment more with that stabilizer on that pole. I think sometimes it gets caught up with the pole and it starts to vibrate and the stabilizer can't cope. By the way, there's no fee to actually come on the beach. The beach is open to the public. Anybody can come. It used to be that there would be these guys that would pressure you to get chairs and tents and various things from them, and they would actually put it ahead of time and block up the beach and sort of in an intimidating way make you feel like in order to be on the beach you would have to get a chair or a tent or whatever, or umbrella. But it's not so. I think the government put a rule on that where they could not put out their chairs or whatnot unless somebody was actually asking for it. So they keep it stacked here. You can see it there on the left. You can bring your own stuff to the beach if you want to. Your own umbrella, your own chairs, whatever have you. That's what we do. When you're on this beach, it's quite windy. You can hear it in the mic. No, I still haven't gotten a cat muff to cover that mic. I really have to. And the thing is too, I create a lot of these videos in advance, so although I have intention to do something, you don't see it right away because the video is already recorded. So we are walking across the beach. Still hardly anybody here, and I can tell you by 12 o'clock noon it's going to be packed. Well, but being as it's this early, it allows me to record without having to worry about getting people within the view of the camera. Now, if you haven't been to Maracas for a long time, these structures will be new to you. They are part of the project to make the area more palatable, if you want to call it that. Before, people would sell in little shacks bacon, shark, or sandwiches, or whatever have you. By the way, Trinis eat shark meat quite a lot, and it's part of the cultural idea that when you come to Maracas, you eat something called a shark and a bake, which is a float, flour fried. So these structures allow them to set up whatever, have a bar, have a drink, eat something, and so forth. I believe that yellow building ahead is the administration building. The area where I am now is where most of the people will come and set up their towel, their chairs, and so forth to go in the ocean. It's more like the center part of the beach. You get a good view of the bay out there. If you're wondering about the color of the ocean, it's a further out you go, it's more like a very dark blue, deep navy blue, and then as it comes closer to the shore, you see traces of green, aquamarine, and then where the waves crash, it's like a khaki brown, or the same color of the sand as it's being kicked up. By the way, I'm wearing my jeans, my waterproof construction shoes, and all that while here. There's a dog digging himself under the chairs. Because I will be going all on the road and stuff. I won't be swimming today. I will have other videos for that, but that's not today. Today is to give you a thorough look of the Maracas Beach area, the coast, and I will be even going across to Tyrico, which is another beach, to have a look there briefly. Looks like somebody decided to have a patriotism and advertise at the same time. That area across there is the car park built by the government. You have to pay to go across there. This is more or less some of the main area where people will come through. And they have done a pretty good job of taking care of the sand here, the actual beach itself. They used to have a lot of weeds and grass and tree stumps and roots, but they have done a pretty good job of cleaning it up and getting it prepared for everybody. Those of you who can pick it up, there are a lot of birds singing. I'm gonna take you out to the main road so you get an idea of what the area is like from there. The road ahead is where we came. Every time I raise the pole, the stabilizer tends to kick back. I don't know why it does that, but it always does that. If you ever see me raising the pole and then it suddenly kicks back. So the guy there on the tent is selling doubles. It's just local snack food. This is the Maracas area. They've cut a lot of trees down, and I really hope that they don't cut anymore. You know, part of the whole scenery is, you know, looking at the trees. Without coconut trees on a beach, what is there in a tropical island? Again, if you're new to JB's Man Cave, this is how I normally record my walkthrough videos. Not stopping to just show you the beautiful areas, but show you everything. So you can see everything as though you were there and what you would see. The more touristic videos I leave for another time. These videos are intended to help you to, you know, really feel like, okay, this is what everything looks like now. Not just focusing on what's pretty, but giving you the whole gist of the area and what's around. If you're a tourist and you plan to come to Maracas, this is what you would see. If you haven't been to Trinidad in a long time, this is what you would see. Now this section of the beach is another populated area. It has its own free car park. I should call it an impromptu car park that people create up ahead. That's a gas station up ahead, by the way. Newly renovated. I say newly, but it's been like that for a few years. But if you haven't been here a while, that'll all be new. And there's a little village, a little community within Maracas. Ahead, you know, to the right of where I'm walking is where it will take you to a waterfall. Not a huge one, but I don't even know if it's still there, because sometimes, you know, these waterfalls and the excavation and land grabbing, everything changes its course. I'll have to visit one day. We're gonna head back to the road and from the road I'm gonna be able to show you the Maracas Bay from a different angle, as well as capture another beach called Tyrico. Now, this part of the beach tends to be with a lot of trash, people not really taking care of the area, they park whatever. You know, why it is that once something is free you feel like you could do anything with it, I don't understand. See what I mean? It's not kept as well as the other side of the beach. But people like to come here and bathe in this part of the beach. Road up ahead is where we would have come from, and this road continues along the north coast. That's some lovely eye candy there. Hardly anybody comes up on this side, but along all here, you know, if your interest is just to take pictures, you're not really going any water, you can stop all along here and do just that. Take pictures, take any scenery. You can see how lovely it is. That's the Maracas Bay area. That's the full stretch of the beach, and we came from all the way on the other end. And I don't mind picking up people when they're this small. This small, you can't identify anybody, you can't see anything that might be something I may need to blur. So it's okay for us to take in everybody bathing here. And again, there aren't many people because it's maybe about 7:30, 8 in the morning. But a little later here will be packed. From my personal experience, you want to come early. I mean, while the ocean is salt and it's self-cleaning, I think people, when the beach is too crowded, it doesn't become sanitary anymore. When people are clustered together, it's best to go when it's, you know, all clean and nobody's around. What I would have liked to know is when the US military was here building this road, if the bay itself was this nice. And when I say this nice, this prepared for bathing activities, or was it rocky and they had to make a lot of movement, bring on sand and so forth? If you're from that era or have pictures from that era, feel free to comment in the comment area of my YouTube channel in this video. I'll be interested to know about that. So we're living in Maracas Beach area, and you can see how it can get rockier. That's why not everywhere all coastlines are good enough for dating. Sometimes it's really dangerous. But anyway, we're living in Maracas Beach area, and we're going to head towards another beach called Tyrico. Now, growing up, Tyrico was actually my favorite beach. I can't say that it's the same now. I don't even know if I have a favorite beach in Trinidad anymore, but it's changed a lot. The reason I had liked Tyrico more than Maracas is because the water is a bit calmer. It allowed for more swimming to take place rather than worrying about jumping over or jumping through waves. And growing up, less people would go to Tyrico. People were mostly interested in Maracas all the time, so it would always be crowded, and Tyrico would always have, less people. So it was a good place to go, but it can be almost said that the opposite is true now. People tend to congregate too closely, jumble together. But when you come to this area, you can judge for yourself and see. Just like here in Maracas, it's early, so there aren't many people on the beach. I jumped over the road rails to try and capture here, and it looks nice right at this point. Good eye candy despite all the trash, and I've spoken about that many times in my video, why it is that Trinis just cannot simply use bins and bags and keep their trash until they get home. Anyway, this is beautiful. I don't know about you, but I could sit here and watch this for hours. And the sun is hitting it just right. This is one of these perfect moments that I talked about, where the sun is just right, it's a nice clear day, you're getting all the shots that you want. And I'll bet that if you ever came to Maracas, you never came to this spot, right? You've never seen this before. That's Tyrico. And you can see there aren't many people there either. Now this is what I was telling you about JV's Man Cave, especially for those of you who are new to my channel. If this was a tourist video, I'd have to edit a lot of it, and I would never show parts like this with trash around or things that don't seem interesting. But my channel is all about giving you the raw. I do have videos that cater for just the niceties, but that's not this video. These longer videos tend to be the raw, unedited versions of what I'm seeing so that you can feel like you are there. You really feel like, okay, we are going on this trip together. And with these videos, I talk a lot, and I need to take a water break. By the way, I drink a lot of water. I must go through maybe 4 or 5 liters of water a day. That might seem like a lot, but the humidity, you should really keep yourself hydrated. That's how I keep myself cool. Don't focus on those soft drinks, those sweetened drinks. They just make you more thirsty, raise your blood sugar level. Nothing good about them. Just focus on the water. All natural. Alright, so we're on Tyrico Beach, and I'm showing you some of what you may not normally see on Tyrico Beach. And you can see how the waters, I don't know if you could tell, but the waters are a little bit calmer. Yeah, wave just cracked there, but I mean, that's nothing much. Not to say that there aren't dangers like Maracas Beach. You can still be pulled by serious currents here in Tyrico. Again, if you're not a swimmer, or you're new to swimming, or you're not strong, please stay by the shoreline. Do not venture into the deep waters. Usually there are lifeguards around, even if you're not seeing them. They usually wear a yellow shirt, red shorts, and they usually post flags, and these flags indicate where you should not be. So you basically look at the flag, look across at the water, the flag is opposite, and you will know that you're not supposed to swim there. Usually how the lifeguards know where to put these flags is based on the current. Sometimes the current near the shoreline will start to kick up, and it will make this brown, like a brown circle within the water. That shows where the water is being pulled out. It's not so much the waves above, but what is underneath that you can't see while you're swimming is what the lifeguard looks for. Those currents can pull you, when you're in the water, pull you under and take you out into the ocean while underwater. That's the danger. So while you might be looking at waves and what's above, the danger lurks below. I was trying to capture a flower here, and then I saw a hummingbird, and I'm trying, look at it. I was really lucky to get this hummingbird. We really have some beautiful birds, flora and fauna here. Really nice. If you come into Trinidad for that reason, like you're a bird watcher or whatever, you will have a lot for you in store for you. Make sure to bring a good zoom lens so you can pick up all the birds. We have really colorful birds, very vocal birds, and in some cases they may even interact with you. So that was just a little taste of Tyrico. We're gonna head back to Maracas so you can get the other angle of Maracas that you have not seen before. Again, I'm gonna cover all the areas so you see all the nitty-gritty. These bricks are on the ground because the guy we just passed here, I guess this is his property, and you know he doesn't want people to just pull up and park, so he's made his own little parking spot there. You have to pay to park. As we walk, we can take in a bit of the beach and maybe some of the garbage as well. And this is where I say that, you know, there should be no issues with employment. I know they have this URP and whatnot for unemployed people, but the management of it is questionable, because I think a lot of these areas should be maintained more than just certain times of the week or whatever. Daily, people should be on here checking for garbage, checking for whatever, and cleaning up the area, because this is one of the big tourist spots of the country. And you might say, oh, well, that's just the side of the road. Yeah, but if you notice, when we were coming up from Maracas, there was also a lot of garbage, trash lying around, and it's not going to pick up itself. The guys who come to collect the trash, the garbage truck, they attempt to take up most of it as they're clearing the bags, but the problem is it's not really their job to clean up, otherwise they would never finish. So there needs to be specific cleanup crews that I would say come out every morning early, and they just make this massive cleanup, not just on the immediate beachfront, but everywhere along the road and shoreline. I mean, unfortunately, because of this focus on oil and gas, Trinidad has not developed its tourism sector, and this is one of the few pinnacles, if you want to call it that, of tourism. So it needs to be immaculate. I didn't realize just how much my stabilizer was shaking that day. I need to recalibrate it. Either that or adjust the fitting for my lens. One thing as I'm hearing the music, I mean, I like music just like anybody else, but sometimes I don't care for the kind of music that somebody else plays. So, you know, somebody might be into a song, but you're not necessarily into that song, but they have to play it loud enough for the whole beach, and to me, we could do better than that. If you want to play a little music, play it for your immediate self or whatever, but not for the entire area, because sometimes you want to come to this area to get away, not to now hear more noise. This is the part of the beach where I was saying it used to be overridden by grass and roots and whatnot. You can see this area is still like that. Near the beach used to have something like that as well, but I noticed that they did a pretty okay job of getting rid of that. It's a blackbird, a couple of them. So a lot of them around. Probably have a nest somewhere. They will fly around your head if you're getting near to their nest. And you can see how clear the beach is. Some of these coconut trees are about 30 or 40 feet tall, even more. You can see that I am able to capture above the roofs on the left. I'll give you an idea of how tall you would be if you were watching this. Now as we head back here, I'm going to head back to where I started, and then I'm going to capture more of the beach area and the village, where it's a fishing village. I'm going to go in there and around it and to the far west of the beach where hardly anybody goes, but there's some interesting things to see there as well. This is the restroom area. That is one thing you have to pay for on the beach. I think it's like 5 TT dollars, which is less than a dollar US. And you can see that the beach is starting to get more people on it. And it's one of the reasons I'm not, in case you're wondering, walking on the shoreline. Again, I'm not focusing on people but the area. My job is not to make anybody feel uncomfortable. This is more or less where I started, the general area. This is the river that goes into the ocean. Starts from there and it goes straight into the Maracas Bay. And besides having signs up, people still will venture into that water for what I don't know. But there's a sign up that says there should be no bathing in that water. Here again is another part of the beach that I'm sure nobody really frequents, because really there's nothing going on in this section other than a few trees. This is where, you know, having some infrastructure would do well. This big open space could be used for something. That's shy bush. I've shown that in some of my other videos. When you touch it, the leaves close. And again, I'm coming all here because as I said before, I'm showing you from the angle that maybe you have never seen before, and I want to cover all of Maracas, not just, you know, the beach where and the shoreline which everybody focuses on. When you come this early as well, it's not very hot. It's rather cool. And sometimes going in the ocean could be like, it could almost feel like it's freezing until you dip under. But of course, you know, getting here at 7 in the morning is not an easy feat, especially because, you know, if you're a working person and you're accustomed getting up very early to beat traffic in the morning, you know, when Saturday comes or when a public holiday comes, you want to be able to sleep in a bit. You don't want to feel like you're hustling on the day you should be resting. But, you know, if you choose to sleep in and then come to this beach, you're gonna find it might stress you out a bit because it's, you know, it begins to be packed. This is the bridge to get to the other side where the village is. Now, to the right of this bridge, in that little clearing area, there used to be a big ship parked there. It used to look like a pirate ship, I believe. And kids could go and play there and stuff, but they removed it. Sad to say. But this is some of the things that, you know, I wish they would bring back. You know, that was a really good enhancement, if you want to call it that, for the beach and for children. I don't know if they plan to replace it with something more or better, but it'd be really cool to see that back again. So there's some people coming across that bridge, and I'm just going to kind of hang around here a bit, waiting for them to get across so that I can go across and show you that part of the village. Alright, so let's go. And if you're hearing that sound like if aluminium foil is being crumpled together, that's because the bridge sounds like that when you cross it. It almost feels like it's not steady, but it is. So this is the road that we came down to get to the car park. I'm just gonna visit it. Visit some of the vegetation before I head into the village. Again, if you feel like you want to skip anything, you can use the video key to get past some parts of this video. I always try to show everything as it is. The raw. That's the hibiscus, by the way. Don't see a lot of those anymore. Used to be very plentiful all over the island, but not anymore. At least not in the city. Another version of the hibiscus. There's one that gives that crinkle flower like that, and the other one that has a flush petals. You know, it's so hard to make shots like that because look at how I make trying to take these shots of the flowers, but yet still there's garbage strewn up ahead in the green, right below me. If I really wanted to make a tourist video of this, I would have to literally take a garbage bag and clean up the area before I could film anything. I forgot the name of this flower. They use it a lot when they doing decorating. That road ahead is the road that will continue towards Tyrico. I'm waiting for some people to pass a certain part that I want to go to. When they do, then I will continue up. By the way, I come from a family of avid swimmers. I myself not a competitive swimmer, but do a lot of swimming in my time, not anymore. I used to do a lot of things too, like going to the bottom of a pool, standing up, sitting down underwater, meditative state. So this sign says I love Maracas. That's the first thing you see as you come here. They look like they're building up something on the left. Not sure what that's going to be, but I hope it's something that enhances the area. And that's the whole bay ahead. This is what most people see when they come to Maracas. I'm going to give you a little 360. This road going that way where that white car is where we came from. So that would take you back to Maraval and onwards to Port of Spain. This road on the left takes you to the village. So you're gonna stay here a bit, and then you'll start to see me walking this way, left. I'm gonna head into the village. So I'm taking in some shots of the boats, some of the scavenger birds. Again, in a part of the Maracas area that you probably do not come to visit, but is nevertheless an inherent part of the Maracas Bay. Beachgoers, of course, don't come on the side because it's full of rope, boats, nets, scavenger birds. You know, this is really basically the fisherman's area. And when they get bait and stuff too, they just basically put it all over the beach. So the birds come and they attack it. And they are relatively settled today, but because I'm around, they're a bit startled. And just now you're going to see a lot of them going up into flight, and then they're going to start circling. They're eating like what I believe is some shark young. Some pieces of it. I have some other footage of a beach that I went to in the south, showing a couple of these birds fighting off over a piece of fish. Maybe you saw that one. There they are circling. And it's standard knowledge, if you don't know, that when they circle like this, it means that something is dead below. Of course, we already know it's fish meat. And these kind of birds, if you stood alone at a standstill for a long time, they would come and peck at you as well. We're gonna go all the way to the other end here. This is a part of the bay again that not many people come, but nevertheless is part of Maracas Bay. I have on my shoes, so I don't really go near to the water. That's another video. Just make sure you subscribe for free. You'll see those videos. So jump across here. I love to see rock formations as the waters come and encroach on the earth. And the rocks makes all kinds of different formations and holes. Make some little caves too. For instance, like that, or like that, or like that, or like this. When I'm actually recording out there, I can't see what's inside. For me, it's dark. It's the camera that's picking up whatever, and I won't know what it picks up until I'm watching it. But you could probably hide a lot of stuff here, including yourself. Might be a good area for like a cookout or something. I don't know, it's probably the water comes in too much. You would have to wait till it's more to see. Nevertheless, it's picturesque. Something that I used to see too a lot, and I don't know if they still have it, but they used to give these rides in the ocean, like these blimps or these big floats. People would go on it and they would pull it all over the ocean. Not sure how safe that was, but it's something that I did see them offer before the pandemic. I don't know if they've restarted. That's so you can see what's above me. And you can see this area is not very stable. Any more encroachment by the waters, and a lot of these trees and stuff will probably just fall into the ocean. And I wish I could go closer to the water, but like I said, because I wanted to walk around the whole area, I had to have my boots on. I do have my construction boots though, big black boots that are waterproof, allowing me to go here, but at the same time, you know, I can't go into full water. So I'm sure this is Maracas as you've never seen it before. Different, right? If you come here before, you probably just came straight to the beach, you jumped in the ocean, you dried yourself and you went back home. But now you get to see it at a different angle, taking some of the scenery. This would make for a beautiful painting right there. Keep on looking. We still have a long ways to go until I get back to my original position on the beach. But keep watching and taking in the scenery and the songs. Another video will come up where I continue the road trip and we go through a lot of mud. And we see some very interesting things that I'm sure you've never seen along the north coast. We basically go as far as we can go. But I hope you enjoyed this video of the Maracas Bay and Beach area, village. As always, I appreciate your watching, I appreciate you subscribing. Remember, you can subscribe for free. All you do is click on the button that says subscribe. It is free. You're not paying for anything. You just need to have a Gmail account. Once you have a Gmail account, you can press the button to subscribe, and by subscribing, all that means is that you're a fan of JB's Man Cave and of these videos, and it will give you notification as well of any future videos that are coming up. But I produce videos every day, twice a day, 3 times a day sometimes. And as you can see, most of my videos are about capturing things as you would see it, like if you were there with me. Capturing the things that most people will ignore. Focusing on the area rather than people. Now I do have videos about people and stuff, but you know, if you're abroad, if you want to know more about Trinidad, you wouldn't really be studying the people as much as the area. You know, what are you gonna see in the place? You know, nobody comes to a country and say, okay, how can I go and speak to the people? No, they come to the country expecting to see the place. You know, where are they going to go? What are they going to see in nature and the surroundings and stuff? Let's have a closer look at what those birds are eating. If you're squeamish, you could look away. As you can see, those little baby sharks on the ground. But I'm going to leave it here for you to continue to see. It still has a lot of time left watching. But as far as voice, I'm just going to leave you with natural songs. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you thought about this road trip and walk through Maracas. Thanks for watching and continue to watch.